everyone, it's Jess from Meyer Hatchery. Oh, I gotta zip up my coat here. It is 19 degrees here in Northeast Ohio, and I've got all my gear on to keep me nice and warm. Today I want to talk a little bit about the how. How do our chickens stay warm, and how do our ducks stay warm when it's so cold outside? First up, let's talk a little bit about our chickens. We talk a lot about ways to make sure that our chickens stay warm. So we make sure they have the proper coops and that ventilation is correct in the coop. And if you have breeds that maybe that are like silkies that may need a little extra help, maybe you put a heat plate in their coop. But our chickens actually are built to deal with this weather, especially breeds that are a little bit more on the hardy side. If you take a look at your birds, basically they've got a winter coat already on. Our chickens, if you've noticed when it's really cold, their feathers will stand up. That's basically creating insulation like in our puffy coats. They're trapping that air between their body and their feathers, and that helps to keep them warm. Another thing that you're going to notice that your chickens do is they're going to tuck their feet and sometimes their beak underneath their wing. That is just, again, helping to keep things nice and warm. And when they're roosting, you'll notice that they'll kind of put their bodies over their feet. That's helping to protect their feet. This is why it is so important when you're choosing roosting bars that you have good, strong roosting bars that aren't slippery, so your flock can sit nice and perch on those roosting bars. You want your roosting bars to be between 2 and 5 inches and not be overly slick. Another thing that you're going to notice with your chickens is they're little tiny blast furnaces. So they need fuel to keep warm. So you're going to notice during the wintertime that your flock may be eating a bit more. It's also important to give your flock some extra protein during the winter because they're expending that energy to stay extra warm. They need those extra treats to help boost them. So you want to make sure they have good quality treats, or good quality feed. My flock would say good quality treats. Good quality feed, and you offer them some high protein treats sparingly throughout the week. Another thing that you may notice is your flock likes to cuddle. Not necessarily with you, but they like to cuddle with each other. This is just another way for them to stay warm. You'll notice them cuddling on their roosting bars, and sometimes I notice them cuddling just in the coop. One thing that we really like to do is, because I have a lot of silkies, I have a couple heavy breeds. So I have breeds like the light Brahma and the chocolate Orpingtons, and they like to cuddle with my smaller bantam breeds, and everybody just helps to keep each other warm. Remember, no heat lamps in the coop. That is a fire hazard. Your chickens are made for this weather. And as chicken keepers, as long as you keep an eye, making sure their combs look good, no frostbite, making sure they have the proper feed and they have the proper coop set up, your chickens are going to be just fine in the winter. In fact, I think they like the winter more than I do. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our ducks. So our ducks do some things that are very similar to the chickens and some things that are a little different, and which makes waterfowl really special. So our ducks, you may notice, again, like the chickens, they will make their feathers kind of stand up a little bit. Again, that's just creating that layer of insulation with the air in between their feathers. Chickens and ducks both have the contour feathers and they have their down feathers. So that mix of having the two kinds of feathers just really helps to keep them warm. Another thing with our ducks, very similar to the chickens, is they kind of build that fat reserve during the winter. So you want to make sure your ducks are getting good quality food and that you give them some high protein treats throughout the winter time. Another thing that you may notice your ducks do is I gotta go back a little farther here, you may see them standing on one leg. This is helping to keep one foot warm while the other one is doing some work, and they kind of reverse back and forth, and it just kind of helps to prevent frostbite, and they instinctively know to do that. Another thing that you're going to notice that your ducks do is when they're resting, they may take their bill and tuck it underneath their wing. Again, it's just another way for them to stay warm and allows them to rest a bit during the cold winter weather. One thing that is really special about our ducks is their circulatory system. This really helps to keep them warm in the wintertime. Our duck friends have a counter-current heat exchange circulatory system. What this means, kind of, is that they take warm blood from their heart and it goes down in warm blood vessels next to blood vessels that are cold. The warm from this blood vessel goes over and warms up the cold blood vessel, and this continues in their bodies through their system. I think that is absolutely amazing that our ducks are built for this cold weather. I've seen my ducks stand in the ice, sit in the ice, eat the snow, sit in the snow, and it doesn't faze them at all. They actually prefer to be out in the snow versus in their coop. My chickens, on the other hand, they prefer to be in the coop and not in the snow. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of knowledge on how our feathered friends stay warm during the cold winter. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below. What is your favorite treat to give your flock during the wintertime? Let us know in the comments below as well. Well, I think I'm going to take myself inside and get warm. Thank you so much for watching.